Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to a capsule selection. Today, as always, I am eager to talk to you guys, you ladies as well. Today I want to talk about a specific list in my collection, my rotation, my wardrobe. And I want to get across some fragrances that have come out in the last 10 years, some maybe a little bit longer, but in the last 10 years, these fragrances have captivated me. And I want to entitle this one as a 2 or 3 part series of the fragrances that are in my wardrobe, in my collection, that are GOATs. And that just simply encapsulates the talking of the greatest of all times. These are basically a selection of fragrances that I want to embark on that are extraordinary, as a list of greatest fragrances of all time that are a series, or is going to be a series that is dedicated to the olfactory masterpieces that kind of transcend trends and define eras in a way to speak. These are not just fragrances in my collection I picked up on a whim. These were fragrances that I sampled and of course picked up full bottles because they were exactly full bottle worthy and have become fragrances that I really have sought to be signature scents of mine over the years. They are basically cultural touchstones when it comes to the fragcom and fragrance community. These evoke a timeless allure of like a masterfully done Fellini film out of Italy, or a beautiful composition done by my favorite jazz artist Miles Davis, and one of his compositions that he's done with, say, the likes of John Coltrane. This type of fragrance is a beautiful masterpiece and greatest of all time in some of their categories and DNAs. I have fragrances here like Memo Paris African Leather. I have Chanel Coromandel. I have Roja Parfums Diaghilev and Xerjoff Naxos, just to name a few of the ones on this list coming up. And each of these tell a beautiful story that I want to get across to you guys, is how I got these as compliments, how I got these as compliments to my wardrobe, and how they became perfume that were the most evocative forms of expression for me, and buying them and putting them into my wardrobe. So if this sounds like the type of content you think that you'll enjoy, pull up a seat, pour a glass, and of course, let's enhance. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to The Dry Down, the lifestyle channel where we as enthusiasts aspire to enhance and elevate our olfactive sensory experiences through the understanding of the different aromas, facets, and nuances of scents, cigars, and wines. I'm your host, Chris. Welcome to today's experience. We are going to talk about greatest fragrances of all time in my particular wardrobe. These are fragrances that meet sophistication and storytelling at the same time, which is how I love to express myself in perfumery. I love to have a scent that has far-reaching abilities than just smelling good or a compliment factor. I want to see how a scent unfolds on my skin and how it brings a creative essence to my actual appearance and my personality, and actually gives an elevation to me as a person and my persona, full stop. So today we are going to dive in, as I stated in the prologue, one of the best of the collections I have, some of the best in the collection I have, I should say. And this is going to be an exciting series for me. This is the greatest of all time, as I reiterate. These are legends that stood and stand the test of time. Each one is crafted in its own magnificence, in an unmatched artistry, and is designed to leave a lasting impression, which I ultimately love to do and love to implore you to do when you tell your story of fragrance wearing. This one here is from the bold leathers, like I stated, of African leather, to warm ambers, and some that evoke such a crazy and evocative memory for me that they are just truly captivating. So if this is something that you've gone through in your actual perfume purchasing and buying, I want to hear from you at the end of this video. Tap in when I would love to. And actually leave some comments while I'm posting this video, because I love to know what it is that you guys are wearing in your wardrobes. So as we dive into this list, I'm going to introduce you to the first one, which is Memo Paris African Leather. So when it comes to African leather from the house of Memo, many people have included this on great phenomenal lists that they have put out. And for me, this is one that has stood the test of time from the moment I purchased it. It is one that's full bottle worthy, but also not just full bottle worthy. This is backup bottle worthy and beyond. This is a scent that has a profile that is a captivating, beautiful symphony of leather, cardamom, beautiful geranium, bergamot, oud, cumin, musk, patchouli, saffron, and vetiver. It is a very phenomenal wearing spicy fragrance that if you're into spicy fragrances, this is the pinnacle to the DNA attribution of spicy leather fragrances. It's one that has an intense intertwining earthy vetiver that creates a very beautiful, intriguing contrast between sweet, fresh, spicy, and smoky, enveloping nuances to a skin. The facets just come off tremendously well. The blend is phenomenal in this particular scent. It is one that where the leather forms the backbone, but it's rich and textured, bold tape with the smoky sweetness of cardamom and the other notes of oud, lemon, and geranium just unfurl on the skin to create this beautiful, exotic, and intoxicated, refined leather fragrance that I think all of you would be remiss if you did not have this in a sample form in your collection to see exactly how this beautiful leather fragrance unfurls. Once again, Memo Paris, this is the experience that, just imagine the majesty of waking up in a Sahara resort. The African sunshine is at your face. The golden hues stretch across the savannah. And it's just a beautiful take on leather, because this is one that encapsulates that entire region in a bottle with refined elegance and warmth. It is one that is captivating, like I said, of a wild yet elegant spirit, and it blends the raw power with a polished finesse that is unstoppable in this genre. This is one that I've just ultimately come to know as a pick up and go fragrance when I want to smell my most beautiful, spicy, and leathery takes on a scent. It is one that makes it legendary because it is just a fragrance that is full of adventure to me for the fall and winter wear. It is a signature that would not be in my collection had not been for sampling, so it's one that I implore you to do. Idea for cooler weather, upscale events, and late night confident boosting when you want to go out and have a date night. Once again, African Leather, one of the greatest of all time in my collection from the house of Memo. Get your nose on it. Next up, ladies and gentlemen, I have one of the fan favorites, one of my favorites, one of my personal favorites when it comes to the scent of Chanel's DNAs. She has a very particular way, her brand has a very meticulous way of building their fragrances to really conjure effective luxury. The luxurious blend of citrus, neroli, patchouli, benzoin, and white chocolate in this particular scent, along with a gorgeous back of incense and amber, create one of the most creamy, sweet, and beautiful white chocolate wrapped patchouli fragrances that you will ever smell. It's a nicely done, earthy, masculine patchouli, along with the rose that has that green faucet to it, not the sweet faucet, but a green faucet, along with that opening of white chocolate that has this milky creaminess, but does not lend itself so much gourmand as you would think of a chocolate note. It leans itself more on the take of the creamy faucet that sandalwood would do in a fragrance. This one is a sophisticated beauty. It is amber incense, it is resinous, it has great depth, it evokes timeless luxury of Chanel's intricate artistry that I think all of us would be remiss if we did not have a sample and or decant form of this particular scent in our collection. This is one of the greatest of all times when it comes to patchouli fragrances, and you will know that once you tap into community-wide reviews and relevance on patchouli fragrances. It's an experience that is basically, picture yourself stepping into a room that has just been furnished and the clothing is laying around, you're suited, your wife or girlfriend or lady friend is decked in the most glamorous of ball gowns. Chanel is there herself dressing you guys, and it is surrounded by intricate scent of Coromandel. It's a just beautiful scene to set because you feel the elevated elegance around you when you wear this particular scent, and that is the journey that these fragrances should and can take you on if you open your mind to that particular way perfume works on you. This is one that is beautifully done for the uptown and downtown elegance of a night out, a beautiful, elegant fragrance that I think just, it has to be stated as a legendary fragrance and the greatest of all time because it feels like wearing a piece of history, just a heirloom type of fragrance that you want to have in your collection to pass on to your children, you know, give to friends to let them know what a luxury scent smells like. And that's what makes it so legendary, because the artistry, the creamy patchouli base, the resinous warmth of this one are perfect choice for intricate wearing experience that gives soirée all the way to opera. And you can't go wrong with the scent of Coromandel when it comes to masterfully done scents. That is one of the best fragrances, or one of the greatest fragrances of all time. Coromandel by the house of Chanel. Ladies and gentlemen, next up I have on the list one of the favorites. Again, a community-wide blessed fragrance that is beautifully composed. Another one on a list as I continue to go through and give you character references of what a Roja Parfum can do, which is one of my favorite brands, along with Xerjoff. These brands, to me, have produced some of the greatest fragrances, some high quality fragrances, really captivating, really refined fragrances. And so when I present these to you, I want you to understand that these need to be sampled, because there are fragrances that do not fit many of our fragrance wardrobe, and it may not be something that works for you, and that's fine. That's why you sample. When I bring them to your attention, these are fragrances that have worked for me as a young urban man that ventures off into the world to become one of the most successful people that I can in making choices and making decisions. And decisions are made when you purchase a perfume of this caliber and this price point. And so when you speak of these fragrances, you want to speak of legendary essences when you speak of fragrances that have been put at this price point. And so for me, picking up Diaghilev is one of the best stunning chypre compositions I have ever picked up in my fragrance journey. This is one that is built off bergamot, peach, rose, ylang ylang, oak moss, a little bit of ambergris, and a lot of leather in the composition. The beauty of the moss is the most decadent of all mosses that you will come across. It has this effect of binding spices and moss to the best of its ability. The vibrant burst of bergamot on this one, as you get a whiff of it, it's such a well-developing fragrance. Overly stunning developing fragrance. It is one, like I stated, the vibrance of the moss and the bergamot and the composition, along with ylang ylang and heliotrope and things of that sort. This one is a very opulent fragrance that creates that peach effect of a fruity brightness that contrasts against a floral opulence of the jasmine and rose in this particular scent. And so in that one, you are then going into a composition that is anchored by moss and leather. Just exactly what a sophisticated, well-rounded, studious, stand-up guy, stand-up man, stand-up gentleman, stand-up aristocrat, stand-up king should smell like. This is the scent that develops on the skin into a smoky, mossy richness that feels both vintage and modern, to the best of all perfumes that I've smelled. It is a unapologetically opulent fragrance that evokes the roaring 20s, evokes the timeless classics of things like the great Gatsby era. It is suited, it is well refined individuals walking and standing in their purpose, and that is what this scent particularly portrays to me, and why I pull it out in era and times just like that, when I want to represent myself in that key moment, in that key situation, to smell my most stunning. This is the experience that you must imagine living in a castle, not in so much of an old castle. I'm talking about these new modern castles that are being built, the new modern architectural castles. You are presenting yourself as an opulent individual, and this is where your mind state will take you and put you and perform for you when you wear scents like this, because the effectiveness of its sensory experience is gorgeous. This is one that you wear to a stylish ball. You can wear this to a party. You can wear this on your day-to-day. It can even be a signature scent, and it's masterfully done in that aspect. This is one that you want to be around. Just when you wear it, think of the chandeliers in your home. Think of the glitz. Think of the glamour. Think of the whispers that when you walk into a room, what you look like, and then ultimately when you pass by, what you will smell like. And it is gorgeous. It is one that is, when it fills the air, it is filling the air with intrigue and mystery while being gorgeous. It is a commanding attention getter that is rich, textured, and has a bountiful amount of layers and facets that you will just be smelling beautiful with. It's a legendary fragrance that refuses to be forgotten. Much like many chypres on the market, they have been, but it's a resurgent. And this is one that I think you should get your nose on to captivate and put into your wardrobe with, because this is one that can be worn, like I stated, special occasions all the way down to business meetings, and you will smell incredibly remarkable. Once again, one of my masterpieces, one of my goats, Diaghilev from the house of Roja Parfums. Ladies and gentlemen, next up, when I talk about fragrances, I love to bring out many of my vintage bottles of fragrances that I have. This is the fragrance Naxos. Of course, yes, the new bottle is just as good. The richness in the original compositional bottles, the 100 ml compositional square bottles, are just phenomenal. They have a little bit more longevity in them and a little bit more rich smelling take on them. And that could just be from the oils that were produced that year, not necessarily a reformulation. For me, when I talk about legendary fragrances that have really taught us what smelling phenomenal smells like in the FragCom, when we reached out to this particular community and wanted to know what was best smelling and what we could smell like as gentlemen to take our next level, to take our next steps, Naxos is one that has been there since day one when I started talking about this stuff and being around friends and wearing these opulent fragrances and perfumes. And for me, Naxos is a legendary, greatest of all time scent, full stop. No one can say it is not. Naxos by the House of Xerjoff is a vibrant blend of bergamot, lavender, honey, cinnamon, cashmeran, vanilla, tonka bean, and tobacco leaf that is phenomenally wearing. Just when you talk about tobacco fragrances, you cannot leave off Naxos as one of the top 3 to 5 all time, and that's why it is one of the greatest of all times in the era that we are in now. It is a sweet honey scent that mingles with the aromatic lavender that just provides a fascinating juxtaposition of warmth and freshness of the fragrance that is just uncomparable. The lavender, it is something that is veiling over the entire fragrance that is so peculiar smelling as a fougere lavender over a honey tobacco scent. But it's so gorgeous wearing that you have to get your nose and it on your skin to see how beautifully well developing this scent is. It is one that has the base notes of vanilla and tobacco leaf that weave a velvety sweetness with a rugged smoky depth that is irresistibly bold and flamboyant and sexy. Sweet yet bold is what I'm trying to tell you, and this is that beautiful scent that is like something, one of the most daring men in, this is everything from, man, what I think about when I wear this scent is Nino Brown. That's what I think of. Charismatic, powerful, yet gangster. That's all you got to think about when you wear Naxos. That is the human being that this personifies, the character that just personifies. When I first smelled it, that is the human being that I thought of in character form. This is one that transports you to that era of life. That's the cultural reference that I'll give it, full stop. This is one that transports you to a heart of the metropolitan area, and you just want to be the most attractive in that particular geographic area. It is one that lingers on the skin. The sillage is incredible. The nuances that break down on the skin across the time of the wearing of about 8 to 10 hours are gorgeous. This is one that carries this scent that just administers a breeze of intoxicating scent profiles of the citruses and the honey tobaccos and that aromatic lavender. It is one that is indulgent because of its sex appeal and alluring factors, and it just comes on time after time after time. It's one of the most gorgeous wearing fragrances in my collection. And so for me, this is one that is so perfect for fall and winter. It is a modern classic that is rich and complex with everything from a late night jazz night to a rooftop gathering. You won't be any way, shape, or form not the best smelling human being in that facility. Make yourself feel like the ultimate arbiter of style and sophistication when you wear this scent, and you will be. This is Naxos, one of the greatest of all times. Gentlemen, last on the list today, part 1. This is Oud Amber by the House of Cartier, and Mathilde Laurent is the perfumer behind this particular scent. This is the very, very best and greatest of all time, spicy, ambery, warm, cozy, just feral oud that I have come across. Of course, there are many oud and amber fragrances in this DNA that we have as the FragCom. Beautiful in their own right. Some will even be on part 2. When it comes to letting you know the top 5, part 1, the compositions I must bring to you in my favorite form of oud and amber is Cartier's. This is a masterful interplay of amber, oud, vanilla. You can smell a smoky sweetness of the woods that mingle with a saffron note that they don't list, and that is intriguing in such a way, but it also a shame that they don't give the actual intelligentsia of us to let us know what's in it, because you can pick it up so well. If you know your notes, you're going to pick up these notes of vanilla and saffron in this, along with the oud and amber that they portray as being the part of the scent. It takes the stage when you just want to wear a resinous scent, and it is phenomenal when it does come across the skin. It just starts to unfurl as this spicy, sweet, warm, leathery take on ambery fragrances because of that saffron. And then that oud just takes over and becomes this most melodic scent, and it just quietly envelops you in this golden warmth of amber. The vanilla adds this creamy softness, while saffron spice has this bedroom style composition of leather that gives sexy exoticism and luxurious character to this fragrance. And I just love waxing poetic about it because it is just simply that gorgeous of a scent. It is one that has the equivalent of a vintage Rolls Royce. It is that gorgeous. It is smooth. It is luxurious. It is timeless. And it is a fascinating oud and amber fragrance. This one here, it wraps you in the warmth of a fine cashmere sweater and just takes you off into a really, when you it gives you a beautiful nuance and facet to your character. And it's just gorgeous, man. It is one that has the wear of a when you want to be around a crackling fireplace, or you want to go into town and you want to be arm in arm with a lady, a loved one, when you want to be in some of the finest of restaurants, when you want to be just comfortable and sit back and relax, and when you want to be who you are, oud and amber can give you exactly what you want in a winter amber and oud fragrances. This is a rare fragrance, guys. This is one that she did a phenomenal job in the composition. It is just a well-aged, blonde, spicy, ambery, leathery fragrance that is just gorgeous. And for me, this is one that is such a mysterious take on a scent that really puts you into a opulent depth of complexity with such simple formula that you cannot go wrong with. I promise you guys, this is one of the very best. It is smoky yet sweet. It is quiet yet powerful. It is radiant yet soft wearing. It is a sophisticated gentleman or lady in their bag. Cartier's Oud Amber is one of the greatest masterpieces of all time in my wardrobe. Get your nose on it. Ladies and gentlemen, that is my list for you guys today. I wanted to put out part one of the greatest of all time in my collection. Why are these fragrances legendary? From the rugged elegance of Memo Paris African Leather to the creamy opulence of Chanel's Coromandel, these scents, they do transcend perfumery to me. They are pieces of art. And so for me, as you see, as I begin to speak more freely and more comprehensive in my reviews, and I get more comfortable into stating what it is that these fragrances are to me and the prose in which I try to speak in, you can see how these have taken a piece of me and I've become captured by them. The timelessness, the drama of these fragrances, the artistry as I spoke of. You have these that are just beautiful. Naxos is just one of the best tobacco fragrances on the market. It has something that has one of the best tobacco yet Mediterranean charm from Italy. Cartier's Oud Amber is one that just defined and refined by a modern masterpiece of connoisseurship that you just dive into when you have this particular scent. These fragrances are not just the best. They are, to me, the greatest of all time. Icons, iconic. They are essential for me to have in my perfume and fragrance collection and wardrobe. And to me, they embody what I want to give to my children as a heritage, because I want them to see these fragrances as not only the beauty of the perfumery on the body, but the artistry in which they were enveloped in. So the scents here, they are powerful statements, and they are ones that I want you guys to know what are some of my greatest of all time. So if you have some, tap in below. Like I said, I want to hear what are your greatest of all time. What are you looking to purchase as one of your grail fragrances? For me, these are the first 5. I have a part 2 coming out, and I cannot wait to get that list out to you. It's ultimately going to be a 15 fragrance list to present to you guys, and I cannot wait to get all of those out to you. Like I stated, as always, if you found something of entertaining and education in this particular video, all that I ever ask that you do is hit the like button, subscribe, and leave a comment below and let me know what are you guys wearing that are your greatest fragrances of all time, as I reiterate. And until next time, you guys have a blessed day, a wonderful week, and I will see you then. Be at peace.